You don't have to have a complex understanding of graphics to follow along with this video. I'm going to be showing you how to master the 3D camera in DaVinci Resolve Fusion to create these fantastic parallax graphic effects for your videos. Specifically, I'm going to be showing you how to create your own shapes and assets, animate the 3D camera within a 3D space, and showing you some tips and tricks that I use all the time. My name's Dan, you're watching DanVinci, and let's start editing. So here I am in the Fusion page, and at the minute, this is what my node tree looks like. I literally have my logo and a background node just for the canvas. That is literally it. Right, so the first step is to put the logo on a 3D plane. So select the logo, control space, and search image plane 3D. So we're gonna put that in. We're gonna just disconnect this from the merge node because we no longer need it. So clicking on your image plane node, clicking 1 on your keyboard will open up the preview, and you can see we have the logo in a 3D space. Now I want you to control space while selecting the image plane and search camera, and what we want here is camera 3D. When you select this, it should automatically make a merge 3D node in your node tree. Then clicking on the merge node, click control space and search Render3D. We want Render3D, and then from here we can attach Render3D to the output of background 1. Now at the minute you'll see that it's not showing. That's fine. If we click 1 on merge 3D 1, and then you'll see the camera is really close to the logo. So then all you need to do is click on the camera node, go up into the preview and just move the camera away, and you'll see it starts to appear in our main view. Okay, so the next step is we want to create a background node. So this little icon here in your quick node menu bar thing, I don't really know the official name. Moving on. Drag this down and create a background node. Click 1 if you want to preview it, but there's not much to preview. It's a boring background. But we're going to change this. Yes, you're going to become interesting. Now, clicking control space on your keyboard, bringing up the select tool search bar within Fusion, and we want to search Extrude, like I have conveniently right here, like I haven't prepared this video in advance. Click add. This will add the Extrude node. Now, drag down and add the background to the green arrow. Then what we want to do is search an S polygon. Control space, S polygon. Now drag the output to this and drag it onto the yellow. There we go. Now go over to your DanVinci logo, click 1 on your keyboard to show it up in the preview, and then what we're going to do is while clicking the S polygon 1, we're going to zoom in on our preview and just trace our logo out. Now if you have a more complex logo, unfortunately you're going to have to do this step by step and be patient, but I promise you the end result will probably be worth it. And for boredom reasons, I will speed this up a lot. Maybe I'll make it dramatic. Great. If we click 1 on our extrude node, you'll see we will have a shape in the shape of our logo, like so. And in a minute, it's looking a little bit dark. So I'm going to just go on the background node and change the color to a nice gray, something like that. So now clicking on the extrude, let's add a transform 3D node. And now that we've got the transform 3D node, let's drag the output over to our merge node and add this into our node tree. Now from here, you'll notice it's made a glitchy thing, but again, we will fix this shortly, as in the next few moments. So I'm going to click on 1 on merge 3D just here, well, the one with the camera, and I'm just going to move around and see what we've got here. Right, so let's zoom in a bit more on our logo and let's start extruding. So clicking on extrude 3D 1, let's increase the extrude depth. And this is where you start coming into the realm of personal preference. So you don't have to follow the exact values that you have on screen. So my example is I might go with 0.0756. Everyone's logo and everyone's situation will be different, so don't copy me exactly. That includes you.
Oh, me?
So I'm happy with that sort of extrusion, English. And then click on transform here, and I'm going to just sort of move it back, just so all of a sudden our logo appears like that. There's a reason I went for grey. It gives the illusion that it's shadowed and it's all white really. You can obviously use the lighting within DaVinci Resolve Fusion. I'm not going to be touching upon that, but if you do want to learn more about that, subscribe, because I might make a video on it. That is a massive step out of the way. We now have a 3D logo. Now, if you want to move this logo entirely, including all of these nodes, simply click on the merge node and search transform 3D just here. And then what we can do is move everything all together and even rotate it. And as you can see, we have a 3D logo, just like that. So I'm just going to call this logo transform. transform. So these nodes are the logo. So I'm going to just drag them up here just so they're out of the way, and we're not going to touch them for a little while now. So let's make our own little assets. Now feel free to skip this if you don't want to create them. Okay, so the next step is to open up your search bar within Fusion, clicking Control Space again, and we want to search S rectangle. So I'm going to create these little X's because I think they're just really cool and really easy to make. So we've got an S rectangle, and in here, if you click 1 on the preview, it's very similar to just a square mask. In fact, it's basically the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down and make this nice and thin, like so, and then I'm going to go into the inspector, and I'm going to bring up the corner radius, like so, until it basically looks like that. Now what I'm going to do is Control C, Control V, create a copy, click 1 so we're viewing the merge, and then I'm going to click on the other rectangle and I'm going to rotate it like that. Way. I'm going to type in the inspector -90 so we get that bang on in terms of its rotation, and I'm going to just adjust them. So I'm probably going to go like that. In fact, yeah. Just going to go by eye. Something like that. Yeah, right, I'm happy with that. It's a nice little X or plus. They're very similar. Now, once you're happy with this, let's extrude it. So I'm going to make another copy of these nodes now that I'm happy and paste them just below, just like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on one of them and click Control Space and search Extrude again. I do apologize, there are a lot of nodes in this video. Extrude 3D, there we go. Then on this one, I'm going to change the color of these. So they're, again, the same sort of gray as we had before. So if you click on the rectangle, go into Inspector, click on Style, you can change the color. So I'm just going to go to nice gray. So I'm going to just copy the hex code or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called, the color code. And I'm going to paste it into the other one just so that they're exactly the same and I don't have any issues. Then clicking on this S merge node for the original rectangles that we made, I'm going to click Control Space and search S renderer. This basically converts it so that we can attach it to a merge node next. Then from this S renderer, search image plane again. And then from this image plane, now search merge 3D. And now we can attach the extrude to that merge, and now they're both in one layer in the 3D space. From here, you can click on the image plane and move it so that it's on top, just like that. There we go, brilliant. And now we have our shape. You can duplicate these nodes, create as many as you want. Just use this little node tree as a template to create your own shapes. Creativity, it's all yours. You have the power. So now that we've made the shape, click Control Space on your merge and search Transform 3D. And I'm gonna call this plus shape transform. Very straightforward name. Now, if you want to simplify your node tree a little bit, you can select all your nodes that are involving the object that you've made and click Control G. This creates a group. Now, the nodes haven't disappeared. They're still there. They're basically just folded away. So you can make things a little bit neater and not as overwhelming. So if you double click on the group node, you'll be able to see all the nodes within that node, nodeception. Yes. So I'm just going to do the same with these here. Let's call it logo. Oh, by the way, I'm clicking F2 to rename the nodes. Great. And then what I'm going to do is attach this to the merge node over here. And because they're in the same place, they've made the glitch thing again. But we will soon fix this. So clicking 1 so we can preview everything on the merge node right here in the center. Let's move this plus around. So I'm going to click on the transform for this little plus and then move it over here. I have a mistake. I know why. Basically, I've just made the extrude layer a little bit too close. I just need to move it just a tad more. There you go. It was just basically bang on the extrude layer and the top layer. So I've just moved it a little bit. So if you get that, that's why. So I'm going to move this somewhere like that. There we go. Now I'm going to add a little bit of motion to this, so it's just sort of rotating by itself, lonely, poor thing. And I'm going to go to frame 0, go into the inspector on the transform node for that shape, using the Z rotation like that. I'm going to create a keyframe, go to the end there, and then just give it a load of numbers like that. There you go. It doesn't have to be exact, but there you go. It's now rotating in the background. Just to add a bit of motion, bit of variety, you know. Now, what I'm going to do is quite simple. I'm going to copy and paste this shape everywhere. And when I mean everywhere, I mean everywhere. This will create a greater load on your PC, and it may struggle. So I've created 5 shapes. I've just basically copied and pasted what I've done and just created a merge node and put them all together and then just move them around in the 3D space just to create that parallax effect with the camera. Speaking of, let's animate this. So clicking on the camera, I'm going to now make sure that the target is our logo. Now, a lot of you in my last video did comment, why don't you use the target? It's a good reason. I don't know why, I just used the pivot point in that video. You can use the pivot point, it's very similar, but the target is ultimately better. So what we're gonna do is set the target on our logo. That way the camera will always stay fixed straight on at its target, the logo. So if we go into the inspector here, click on use target. This is under the transform controls within camera, and let's move the target. So luckily, I think the target is already on our logo. Basically, because we haven't moved the logo from its original place in the center of the 3D plane. The target's default position is also where the logo is. But if you've made your logo over there or over here, then you just move this. You can also do the same thing with the pivot, just move the pivot all the way in. I explained this in the last video. Great, with that established, let's add some rotation. Now, because we're using the target, what we can do is keyframe using the translation and not the rotation. So going from frame 0, I'm just going to create 3 keyframes on the translation and then move over to the final frame, and I'm going to move it to about, maybe let's go there, and then let's go over to here, like that. There we go. Now at the minute, there's not enough shapes, so I'm going to add some more shapes in, and what you can do is strategically move them around so that as the camera moves, it reveals them in certain ways. This all comes down to the artist and what you exactly want. So what I'm doing here is I'm copying and pasting all of the shapes that I've made, adding them into a merge node, and then adding a transform node, and then rotating them around just so that they differ from the other shapes that I've created, saving me a hell of a lot of time to create that real depth perception that you'll see in a moment. So once you're happy with the placements of your shapes in the background of your shot, feel free to add a background to your actual graphic. Because my logo is associated with editing, I'm going to just add a timeline in the background. So to do this in the media pool, I have open just here the screenshot. I'm going to drag it down into our Fusion tree. Then I'm going to control space while selecting it and search image plane, bring it into the 3D space, and then I'll drag this in to the merge node here, and then I'm going to click transform 3D. So clicking on the transform 3D, I'm going to drag this far away as possible, nice and tucked away in the background there all by himself. And then I'm going to go in the inspector and drag up the scale all the way up. Unfortunately, it locks up there, so I'm going to just type in 25. Looks like it needs to be even bigger. Brilliant, and I'm just going to bring it down. So for me, the background scale that's 65 is perfect. You can add anything for the background. It could be a very simple background node. Make it blue, make it black or green, whatever you think is best. Now, the final thing is the Render3D node. So if we go and click on the Render3D node, so now we're going to add that focal blur to create that real depth perception that you see on your screen right now. So go into your inspector tab, go down to camera, click on camera 3D, and then what we're going to do is go to render type, go from software, go down to hardware, like that, because it's going to use the hardware. And then from here, click on accumulation effects. It's a cool name. Go down, click on enable accumulation effects. Then from here, your computer will go very, very slow, like exceptionally slow, unless you have the most powerful computer on planet Earth. From here, we want to adjust the amount of blur that we want. So I'm going to just tune it down a lot. And then I'm going to click on the camera 3D node and adjust some of the focal blur. So clicking on the controls. So this is the control you want, the focal plane. And I'm just going to adjust this until this logo is in focus. It really is a case of just trying your luck. There we go. Perfect. 4.5 in my instance. Now it obviously comes completely down to where the camera is in comparison to the subject. So your numbers will be completely different. Just find that perfect Goldilocks zone. Then what you can do is render this, add a clean transition in a similar sort of direction to the motion of the camera, and hey presto, you have a 3D parallax intro for your videos, like that. Now I understand the node tree is very, very complex, and hats off to you if you've managed to follow this without a single hitch. I always try and reply to most of my comments. I do get a lot, so I do apologize. If you get stuck, I might be able to help you. I wish you the very best with the new skill that you've learned, and I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you have, feel free to subscribe, because if you don't, I will hold you captive for 24 hours. For legal reasons, that was a joke. My name's Dan, you've watched DanVinci, and I will see you in the next one.